Welcome to episode 2 of Organic Msosi. Organic Msosi is all about delicious, healthy and nutritious food recipes that are good for your body and for your soul. Last episode you got to make this amazing salad and I hope you tried it out and enjoyed it. So today we'll make something very simple. These are cooking bananas, so we're going to learn how to make them in a healthy, simple, delicious way. Now most people don't like to make these bananas because they're very messy. When you peel them, they have this gluey stuff. Maybe we can try out with this one. So when you're peeling them, they have this gluey stuff that is sticky and very messy, and this makes many people opt not to cook it. So is there a way how you can enjoy these amazing bananas without having to go through all this messy preparation? Yes, that's what we're going to find out today. So what I do is just place our cooking bananas inside a sufuria. You can also use a saucepan, and then we're going to add some water. We have not peeled it because we want to skip this gluey messy stuff. So after that we're going to place it on heat so that we can have it cook. And so we're going to let our bananas in water boil, and how you get to know that they are ready is that the peel will start discoloring. So you find the water changes the color and then the peel becomes black, and when you press with a spoon, if you press it with a spoon, you'll find that the peel is getting tender. That's how you know that your bananas are ready. Normally when the water is boiling, the bananas are also cooking, and it's cooking with the peel. So that way you get to skip the messy stuff and then still get to enjoy the bananas. So now we'll turn off the heat because the bananas are discolored and they're very tender. When you press with the spatula, you can feel that they're tender, and so we need to remove them from the water. As you can see, they've turned black in color, so that means they're ready. They're also warm. So after that we'll let them cool a bit before we peel them. You can cut the top bits. And you see, the other benefit of cooking when they still have the peel on is that they get to be solid. They don't mash. Like when you're boiling them, they won't get mashed. So it's when you're frying them, as you shall see, they look very nice. And when it's cooked, you can even just peel with your hands. See, comes off really easily. You can just remove the thready bits with the, and they don't get overcooked. So that's another advantage about cooking with the peel on. So you skip the messy gluey stuff, and then it also doesn't get overcooked because you want it to be crunchy and yes, cooked, but also crunchy, especially if you're going to have them as the main dish with maybe a stew on the side, or some people will just add a little salt and have them with tea. It's very delicious and very healthy, very organic, high in potassium. So there we have our bananas. So at this point you can actually eat them. You just need salt and some nice thick milky tea, or if you want to have them with something else on the side, we can fry them. So I had these onions cut, so we're going to add a little oil to these onions. Just a little oil, and then we're going to fry the onions. can also slice this into two so that we have more of them. So we are good to go. Then now you can start putting the bananas there. Just want them to get that taste of some oil and some onions. Now some people would prefer like stewing them, so if you're going to stew this, you can fry the onions and then you put the tomatoes, you put coriander, you use the bell pepper, you put your spices, and then when you have that stew, you can now add the bananas. So there you have smelling really nice, and we'll season with some salt. Season with a little bit of salt. If you have pepper, if you have natural spices, ground ginger. Now here you can just go ham, you know, depending on what you have and also what you're looking for. But basically the idea of this recipe was to teach us how to skip that gluey, messy stuff in bananas. So as long as they get you can see that they've gotten the oil and they've gotten the onions and it's mixing thoroughly. So you can serve this with beef stew, chicken stew on the side because it's dry, yeah? So this acts as a very healthy alternative to a starch. I mean, if you're skipping gluten, so maybe you don't want to do chapati or rice or, you know, processed carbohydrates, then you can always go for these cooking bananas, and then you can have them with your favorite stew, or you can have them with tea. And aroma is really amazing. You know that yeah, we're done. You just need it to get that taste of onions and the taste of oil. So we'll just turn this off and can transfer this to a plate. So we'll just put this here. There you go. And the onions add more, you know, flavor, taste. There you go. So you have our bananas with the onions. All right, so we have our cooked bananas here that you can eat with you can just have them like that with like tea if you want, or you can have them with a stew of your sauce. So we're just going to garnish them, garnish the bananas because they're cooked. This is a leaf of celery. There you go. And had a few cherry tomatoes here, so we can also, you know, presentation, appeal to the eye, make it look delicious. And these are also very nice. Cherry tomatoes are very salty, and they're salty in a nice way, and very yummy. So we're going to taste this and just see how it is. Like you've seen, it doesn't crash, it's not mushy, it's not overcooked. And I'll have it with a bit of some onion so that you can get the taste of everything. Very nice, very delicious, very healthy. Don't have to worry about unwanted calories or gluten, and this is a very nice replacement for processed carbohydrates. Hope you get to join us next time. Thank you. In the recipe that we've just prepared, we learned how to skip that messy bit about preparing cooking bananas, because like I told you when we began, it's something that discourages so many people from enjoying this rather very delicious food, because they think about getting all that gluey stuff and having to scrub your hands after that, and they just want to skip all that and decide not to eat. But you see, in life there's always alternatives, especially when it comes to skipping messes. For example, as the youth, you get into this relationship and you want it to be something beautiful, but then if you're not cautious enough to look at alternatives, there's a possibility that you may end up getting entangled in a mess. You decide to sleep with someone without protection. Chances of handling messes such as unwanted pregnancy, HIV, other illnesses, and it breaks the trust, makes something that was very beautiful to become so messy, so complicated, and at times it even leads to a termination of a relationship. But there would have been an alternative. If you had used protection, then you'd have protected your love, grown your relationship into the beautiful thing that it can be. So the same thing like we did with the bananas, we skipped that messy bit by getting an alternative way of preparing it. It did not make the bananas less bananas. We still got to enjoy them, but we skipped the messy bit. So think about your alternatives, choices. Is there a way you can do the same thing in a different way that protects that which you love, so that you don't end up missing out on something great? So let's weigh our alternatives and let's go with the less messier option. Until next time, see you.
We commit ourselves to promoting equitable and affordable access to sustainable basic physical and social infrastructure for all, without discrimination, including affordable, safe healthcare and family planning, education, culture and information and communication technologies. We further commit ourselves to ensuring that these services are responsive to the rights and the needs of women, children and youth and older persons and persons with disabilities, migrants, indigenous people and local communities as appropriate, and to those of others in vulnerable situations. In this regard, we encourage the elimination of legal and institutional, social, economic, and physical barriers. New Urban Agenda 7 Urban Basic Services UBS Article 34 United Nations Human Settlements Program.